All right, people, welcome back to the Kaiba Show. And this week, that's right, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is finally out. So let's get it.
Welcome to the Kaiba
All right, people. So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is starring your boy Benedict Cumberbatch. We got Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Wong, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and it's directed by your boy Sam Raimi. That's right, the director of the original Spider-Man trilogy. And basically, the premise of this movie, and I really can't even dibble and dabble in with the premises, as I can't give nothing really away. But just know that there's a spell that's casted that unlocks the gateways and pathways and doorways into the multiverse, and Doctor Strange has to stop it. And that's all I'm going to say with the premise of this movie. Shout out to my boy Blacktastic News. He's probably going to get upset with me, but I'm not going to lie, people. I actually dug this movie. I thought the movie was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. So let's get into it. The acting was on point. Both Benedict Wong, I love him. Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, everybody brought their A game. Story was pretty good. It was pretty decent. Because of the running time of this movie only being like 2 hours and like 5 minutes, I will say the pacing had me nervous at first when the movie first starts off. The pacing was very fast. So I was like, oh, like, even though the movie's 2 hours, I just felt like in the beginning, like, oh, are they going to rush things? Because, we're so used to Marvel movies being like 2 hours 15, 2 hours 30. We even have some 3 hour ones that came out. So the pacing of the movie just felt like it was going to be rushed, the storyline. So at first I was nervous, but I want to say midway, storyline started gelling more. So I don't have any really crazy quarrels with the pacing of like the story. It started to gel more for me towards the second half of the film. And action. The action was pretty dope. It was pretty good. It's a different type of action because this is like sorcery. So like if you're a fan of Harry Potter and all that other stuff, and you're not so big into the Marvel franchise, I feel like Harry Potter fans could probably relate to this character and appreciate it. So there's a lot of spells and all other types of like sorcery stuff that takes place that, Doctor Strange uses to combat the enemy. So those type of sequences was cool. Sometimes in certain sequences, the CGI looked a little cheesy. You could tell certain shots were like green screens and stuff like that. Didn't have the realistic look to it, but then there was some dope CGI scenes. Like there's this crazy multiverse scene where characters are going across the whole multiverse, going into different realities. And I love the CGI sequence with that. That was dope. That was like some really good special effects in the movie. There's definitely some hardcore Easter eggs. If you're a regular moviegoer, some of them are going to go over your head. But if you're a true comic book fan of Marvel and just comic book fan in general, and you read Marvel comics, you're going to catch some of the Easter eggs. So that was like a plus for me. Can't speak on it because my reviews are spoiler free, but hardcore fans are going to appreciate. If you appreciate the Easter eggs in No Way Home, you're definitely going to appreciate the Easter eggs in this movie. And I also want to touch on how I love the dark element that Sam Raimi brought to the table. He actually like really made noise in Hollywood back in the day with his horror take. He has a few horror movies under his belt for the people that don't know that. So he actually was a good choice for this movie. And there was some dark elements to this movie. And that's another thing that had me intrigued with this movie, with the story. This is probably definitely the darkest MCU movie. And certain stuff might be a little bit too intense for young kids. Like, if you plan on bringing your 5-year-old or 4-year-old, you just got to keep in mind that there are dark elements because there's, dark magic, witchcraft. So there are some scary elements to the movie that might be too intense for young kids. But other than that, I loved it. Sam Raimi did an awesome job with it. The cinematography, everything was pretty dope. Is it the best Marvel movie? No, but it's definitely by far not the weakest. So on the Kaiba scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this movie a solid 8. It's a solid, watchable, enjoyable movie. Uh, and I feel like Sam Raimi did his thing. And if you know, with them definitely probably doing the Doctor Strange 3, I would like to see him be the director again. He did an awesome job. So I definitely highly recommend checking this movie out in the theater. Definitely recommend checking it out in IMAX. It would definitely be worth the money. And yeah, overall, I dug the movie for what it was. Action scenes were pretty decent. Like I said, you got to keep in mind the type of superhero movie we're watching. So you're not going to get the kung fu high kicking that you'll get in like a Captain America or Black Panther or Shang-Chi. It's a different type of action because we're dealing with sorcery and stuff like that. But like I said, overall action, acting, story was good. There was some cheese factor in there. That's why I gave it an 8. Like I said, some stuff, lines were a little cheesy. Sometimes America Chavez, which is a character, sometimes I wasn't feeling every line that came out of her mouth. I didn't really have an emotional connection with that character all the time. But other than that, the movie was dope and it's worth checking out. So yes, man, if you guys know the drill. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. After doing that, hit the bell button so you get notified every time I upload a video. And leave a comment at the bottom. Let me know what you thought of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And hit that like button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.